Look at any skyscraper, and it's easy to focus on the millions of pounds of steel and glass suspended in the air. But if you peel back those materials, reverse the clock, and erase the foundation, you are left with a barren dirt lot. This empty patch of earth represents phase 0. It is the critical window before vertical construction begins, where the site is an operational vacuum, devoid of power, water, or usable infrastructure. In its natural state, raw ground cannot support human labor. It lacks the life support systems, security perimeters, and logistical flow required to safely stage materials and coordinate specialized workers. Attempting to launch a project inside this vacuum without a disciplined support system forces the schedule into immediate, expensive delays before the first wall is even built. Preparing that raw site is notoriously complex. Traditionally, it requires an administrative scramble, forcing project managers to manually coordinate dozens of separate vendors for basic utilities, fencing, and waste removal. This graphic illustrates the financial toll of that scramble. Delayed mobilization typically drains 0.5 to 1% of a project's total profit margin. That margin loss occurs because managing disconnected delivery schedules creates overlapping compliance risks. When one vendor is late, the staging sequence stalls. Site mobilization is a high-stakes risk management phase. Coordination gaps on day 1 directly translate into lost revenue by day 100. To prevent that chaos, we treat site setup like an engineering problem, converting our empty dirt lot into an operational blueprint. The first physical layer is a hard boundary, post-driven perimeter fencing and access gates to define the active work zone. This perimeter dictates the flow of heavy vehicle traffic and enforces safety zones mandated by OSHA. OSHA, or the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, is the federal agency that sets and enforces safety standards for American workplaces. Next, we deploy the command center. Mobile office trailers and steel storage containers are positioned in a secure central zone on our grid. These trailers serve as the project's brain. They provide a climate-controlled hub where superintendents coordinate subcontractors and manage blueprints away from the elements. Establishing security and an operations hub first creates the disciplined environment required for the rest of the build. With command established, the site needs human life support. You cannot sustain a workforce without basic environmental infrastructure. We place sanitation facilities, hand wash stations, and 40-yard roll-off dumpsters along the accessible edges of the site. Grouping these units creates a dedicated waste management corridor. This enforces housekeeping standards, which are essential for site safety, health compliance, and overall worker productivity. To power the site, we introduce temporary power distribution and diesel light towers at key intersections across the grid. Pushing power to the edges ensures that tools stay active. When the sun goes down, that integrated lighting keeps the site visible and materials secure. By engineering these utilities into the diagram, the site becomes an operational engine ready to support the main construction phase. Now we must stage the muscle. These are the heavy machines required to move earth and handle materials. Telehandlers, excavators, and scissor lifts are routed directly into their designated staging areas. Pre-planning these zones ensures that vertical access equipment is ready to work immediately, without creating traffic bottlenecks on the supply roads. The lot is now a disciplined construction machine, fully mobilized and ready to build without delays. Achieving that engineered blueprint requires precise timing, but traditional mobilization is often fragmented. This graphic shows the fragmented logistics model. It forces a project manager to manually track dozens of disconnected rental contracts for every piece of site infrastructure. Relying on separate vendors leads to scheduling nightmares. A generator might arrive days before the fuel, or fencing gets delayed, leaving expensive materials exposed and draining project management time. The alternative is a single managed solution, where every phase 0 component is consolidated under one point of coordination. Having one partner synchronize deliveries ensures equipment arrives exactly when the site is ready. This collapses the paperwork into simplified invoicing, cutting administrative work and reducing project risk. SiteSet Pro coordinates the invisible blueprint that makes vertical construction possible, safe, and profitable from day 1.